the first trailer for the 2024 version of The Crow, the remake, the reboot, whatever you want to call it, starring Bill Skarsgard has just dropped. Let's take a look at the trailer for The Crow, and I'll give you my thoughts and my reaction. Here we go.
What's the first thing you liked about me?
Thought that you were
Are
quite
they in a
brilliant and
rehab?
very
Are they in prison? I don't know what the thing with the
You feel like my person?
pink clothes in a circle is supposed to be.
What's the worst thing you've ever done?
I saw things. I shouldn't have seen any of it.
Julie! Julie! Please don't do this!
When someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead.
There's some CGI going on here. I hope they keep this to a minimum.
So bad happens,
I'm afraid that won't be the case.
and the soul cannot rest.
That's kind of a cool visual.
Until you put the wrong things right. You were given the power of a god.
He obviously got in really amazing shape. Everybody's going to be Googling Bill Skarsgard Crow workout or the Crow workout. But
I'm gonna kill
I think
them.
he should be a little
Every single
skinnier.
one of them.
Just my thought, based on the original.
I killed you.
Yeah, you did.
Now, what is this? What is that car? Is it old? Is it new? Is this supposed to take place in the future? Because it looks like a futuristic car. Does anybody know what that car is? Here he's putting on the makeup, sort of.
He came for us.
It doesn't look like he has the white makeup underneath. He has a sword, which is true to the comic, I believe. It's been a long, long time since I read it. That's a pretty cool visual.
It's not anger. It's love.
Look at what you've become.
This music
You know that
is
love
not great.
promises only pain.
The original had such an amazing soundtrack. He's definitely super buff and ripped. Pulling the sword out is cool. I like that. That's a cool visual.
How many people have you loved?
There's a crow flying behind him. Kind of be cool if it landed on his shoulder. I don't know. All right. So it's going to be really difficult for me to separate my nostalgia of the original one. I'm old. I saw the original when I was 21. I had a Crow poster in my dorm room, not my dorm room, but my apartment room in college. So I really, really loved this movie. And I think it still holds up today. If you've not seen the original version of The Crow, it's streaming. It's a pretty good print. They are supposed to be releasing sometime soon a 4K Blu-ray. I think it would be really awesome if they would, to coincide with the 4K Blu-ray, if they would release it in theaters for a week or two. I would love to go see it in the theater. That would be awesome. The major criticism that people have had ever since they released a couple of pictures a few weeks ago is that he looks so different than the Brandon Lee version in the original film. So in the original film, he has long hair, long black hair. He's ripped too, but that version of the Crow is a lot thinner. I think it's meant for him to look sort of emaciated because he's dead. He's come back from the dead. This version, people have compared to a SoundCloud rapper or the Jared Leto version of the Joker in Suicide Squad. So he has all these tattoos all over his body and tattoos on his face, and he has short hair. Some people have said, a lot of comments that I've seen online, some people said that they had to update this version of the Crow for a modern audience because somehow him being goth would be silly. The goth look is still really popular today, I think. There are certainly plenty of goth channels on YouTube and people on Instagram who have huge followings that are goth, especially. So I don't know why a goth look can't work in 2024. And like I said, he's a dead guy who's come back from the dead. He's walking around with a big black trench coat and no shirt underneath. Is that not silly? I mean, is somebody not going to stand out walking around like that? I don't know if you would classify him as a zombie, but he's somebody who's returned from the dead. It's a fantasy. He can look any way. It doesn't have to be a special look that is current to our times. And honestly, I feel like this look is going to be dated right away. He has kind of a mullet in the back and, the short in the front. That's probably going to go out of style really, really soon. Whereas the original look is timeless, and it's what he looked like in the comic as well. I don't know why you can't have the white makeup with the black over top of it. In this, he doesn't seem to have the white makeup. It's just the black and black lipstick. The trench coat that he wears looks fine. Having the sword is pretty cool. The original also had this great gothic look. Alex Proyas was the director on that. He also directed Dark City, another really great 90s sci-fi-ish movie, sort of fantasy. It had this very unique goth look. The apartment that they live in almost looks like what it always reminds me of when I was a kid. I had this Weeble Wobble haunted house, and the apartment that he had in The Crow with this big window, and when he first goes home after he comes up out of the grave, the lightning flashes, and it's such a great visual. There isn't anything in this trailer that even remotely seems to compare to those visuals of the original. We have Beetlejuice coming out. The trailer for that hasn't dropped yet, but Beetlejuice is being released. I don't know if that's this year or 2025. I'm sure that's going to be a gothic look in that movie. Wednesday is one of the biggest shows around, period, now. That has a goth lead character and all kinds of gothic imagery and style to Wednesday. So I don't know why they can't do that with The Crow, this 2024 Bill Skarsgard version of The Crow. It just doesn't make sense to me. People have talked about the violence and the action. I mean, there's a good bit of blood in this trailer. Some of it looks like it's CGI blood. I don't know if that's the case or not. To me, it just looks like all the other action movies that we have now. It just seems like generic sort of Netflix action, John Wick. It doesn't seem to have its own visual style, which again, the original had an abundance of visual style. That's part of what makes it so great. Bill Skarsgard is a really great actor. He was fantastic in the It movies, I feel. He seems to be a fine person to cast in this. It's a little bit like Jared Leto in Suicide Squad. Jared Leto is a great Academy Award-winning actor. They just gave him a terrible look in that film that most people didn't like. And it seems to be the same here. They're trying to update this so young people will be interested in it. I don't really understand who this is for exactly. To me, there's a lot of old fans of the original that if you make a remake the right way with a great actor like Bill Skarsgard, people would come out to see it. When you're doing a remake, it's all about name recognition. Do young people recognize the name The Crow? Do they really care that much about it? Older people do. So many of the comments that I'm seeing are from older fans who love the original movie. So if you get the look right, people will turn out. So again, I'm not exactly sure who this is for. I don't know if young people are going to be into this, really care about this character, have any connection to this character. To me, the redesign is like rebooting Indiana Jones and saying we're going to give him a hipster beard. and we're going to get rid of the hat and the whip. But what do you think? Are you a fan of the original? Are you bummed out by this remake? Are you excited about the remake, the reboot of The Crow, the 2024 version of The Crow? Leave your comments about The Crow, give us a like and a follow, and we'll see you in the next one.